At the National Disaster Management Agency, the belief is that no amount of early warning information is enough to mitigate disaster, but a change of attitude can set the pace. It is that philosophy that gave birth to a partnership with the Catholic Relief Service, which has provided the resources to train dozens of stakeholders in disaster risk reduction, as well as provide them with data collection materials. Sana Dahaba is the Executive Director at the National Disaster Management Agency.
It is on the recognition of this fact that the NDMA regional office in Brikama felt the need to work through stakeholders and partners to be able to undertake this assessment, especially before and during disaster. This initiative, which materialized by the partnership with the Catholic Relief Service, CRS, for the conduct of this 3 days training for community-led disaster management. Certainly, the envisaged broader outcome is to enhance the capacities of the local authorities, especially on expanding disaster risk reduction at the grassroots to minimize coordination concerns and enhance greater community participation.
Capacity building is fundamental in disaster risk reduction, said Mr. Dahaba, and praised CRS for the support, pointing out the main objectives of the seminar, among them to develop a common understanding of disaster risk reduction technology and concept.
The capacity to assess and analyze possible disaster threat is a prerequisite for prudent decision-making and effective action in disaster risk management. As integrated approach that brings together the efforts of the government, UN agencies, NGOs, civil society, local authorities, and local community is the most viable, effective, and sustainable disaster management strategy.
Flooding and windstorm are the most common forms of disaster the Gambia is famous for. Usman Bojan, the governor of the West Coast region, believed that community-led disaster risk reduction will help to prevent and also to respond to disaster at the local level.
Last year, we experienced some of the worst floodings we have witnessed in the country in recent times, affecting thousands of families across the country. As part of the governor's office responsibility, and in coordination with the regional disaster management team and the NDMA and the government's commitment towards disaster risk reduction, this training will go a long way to complement government efforts in strengthening committee-led disaster risk reduction and management. On this note, I want to urge all participants to take the training very, very seriously, tap into the opportunities that we have here, and share lessons learned with colleagues who are not privileged to attend. The skills learned should be applied in your various regions, working closely with communities especially to reduce vulnerability and disaster risk.
The training of trainers is integral in the achievement of the set targets of the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015-2030. The Sendai Framework is a working tool designed by the United Nations to help guide the process of achieving sustainable reduction of disaster risk losses in lives, livelihoods, and health, and in the economic, physical, social, cultural, and environmental assets of persons, businesses, communities, and countries over the next 15 years. Louis Mendy, GRTS.